Yeah, I shit my pants.
Maybe I did.
سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Yes. I've taken your oil tanker. I've unleashed ice on your streets, and none of you will accomplish any of your 2026 resolutions, because I resolve to crush all infidels. Here on the Media Group, Friday Locker Room.
Just another vicious heel down the cheat and he's proud. Hear the screams when allowed. The reading out his palms, fucking book of songs. When the dirty Saudis dropping bombs, ain't police with batons, but he's pro martial law. You speak infidel, catch a partial to your jaw.
Goddamn right, catch a partial to your jaw. We're knocking them out here this morning, you guys. HMG getting rerouted to Patreon. So if you guys are looking for the podcast in audio or video, we're just getting some things fired up after Vince got his taken off this week to go back over to, what is it, Hami Media, Maddie?
Yeah, Patreon.com/Hami Media Group.
Yeah, Hami Media. I wasn't sure if the G was on there or not, but the G's always here. The real G from down under, bringing that thunder for all you ladies. Get your dollar bills ready. It's the truth, Pierce Austin. Good morning. Good evening, pal.
Good evening, good morning to both you legends. I'm excited to be here on another Friday Locker Room. Get into it, bury some marks, and let's go. Whatever the day brings.
Did you hear that, Maddie? When the music started, I saw you react. It sounded like a 747 taking off.
It did. I heard that too. I was like, what was that?
Like, I don't think I had. Let me double check and make sure I'm not going completely crazy. Maybe I hit this. No, it's not it. I thought it says Star Wars thing. I don't know what it was. I was like, maybe there's a spaceship on that. I'm not going nuts, but who knows? Wherever we're broadcasting in UAPs, USOs, and whatever planet, Mars base or moon base. Glad you're here this morning to talk about some shitty pro wrestling and anything else that's going on in the world. As the times, they are a changing as they always do at a rapid pace, man. So a lot of heat last night, obviously on ice with, the thing happening exactly as you thought it would happen. I mean, you want to see what's happening, go watch the end of V for Vendetta, because that's what happened yesterday with what happens when you put a Stasi police force, Gestapo, on your streets. And they know that in the chess game because the same people that loaded the streets with immigrants to do fleece the system, just in every way possible, know that is their next chess move, that the right wingers will militarize like that something will go wrong, and then one of their pawns are sacrificed. I'm not saying the young lady last night's a pawn, but that is the flashpoint. That's what everybody builds to in these things. And in modern day, everyone just acts like, oh, it happened. Like, you see it happen and the moves, what it is. And unfortunately, they do it with real human lives, so it's not going to get tuned down. Right in the ocean right now, Russia and U.S. facing down over a Venezuelan cargo ship allegedly filled with oil. I've seen disinformation of that it was filled with weapons to be guerrilla fighters from, to arm them in Venezuela with Russian weapons and technology. Like, who knows what's real? Who knows what the propaganda soup is? All I know is I lived through this 20 fucking years ago already. I've already seen the propaganda of babies being thrown out of incubators, portable weapons of mass destruction, people sending anthrax, but we never solved that issue. Like, all bullshit. And here it is again on loop in just 20 years. And motherfuckers are biting for it. At least with Vietnam, with the bullshit they pulled there, they waited 40 years before they did it again. Now we cut that cycle in half to act like you don't remember. Are you that fucked? Are we that MK Ultra mind controlled that we don't see the exact same bullshit playbook that General Wesley Clark fucking even explained 25 years ago, laying out 7 countries? And now all that's come to fruition, as they were saying last night, because of the pizza index, that fucking Israel and Iran are going at it possibly today within the next 2 days, and possibly full nuke scale. Russia pulled all their people out of Israel. Like, these are huge geopolitical moves that are going to end in senseless small death. So only an elite ruling class can, again, gobble up more land, corporatize, build fucking resorts. And, so we're moving not towards no kings. We're moving towards what people throw around as fascism. They don't even know what the fuck that even really means, which is a higher level of ownership of a ruling class that makes the rules for everybody. That is truly what we're doing. When they say fascist, they think it's just some in the streets, I've got power over you and you'll do what I say. The true origin of that is much more bigger, and they use words like oligarchy so they can fucking, again, sound like they're a junior college professor. And everyone, he said that's not an everyday word I hear or understand, but now it's in my vocabulary. You don't even understand the foundations of what the fuck that means, most people. And it's not their fault. We're not supposed to. You actually have to do the work and learn something of the structure. And that's where we are right now, man, with these crazy power players from America to Israel to Russia to China. Because while all this is going on, if I'm doing the art of war and my enemies are over there fighting in Ukraine, fighting in Venezuela, fighting in the ocean, fighting in Mexico, fighting for their own border, China, I'm going, hey, Taiwan, welcome home. Because they're not, that's what you do. You spread out all the other resources for the misdirection spot for the move you really want to make. But then when that happens, people will be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Believe it, dumb fuck. We got beat in 2 mountainous countries by insurgency forces. What the fuck do you think could go on in the Amazon and in Venezuela? Yeah. What do you think they want to go on? Those who are in charge. Of course, they're all invested in defense contractors. Go watch Iraq for sale. They're going to do the same motherfucking thing. They are not gonna, they are doing it. And they're doing it in a timeline. It's not even like cut time. It's like 400% increase in the speed of how it gets done. At least Saddam got to go hide in a motherfucking hole. He yanked this guy out of his fucking bed in the middle of the night, which is why I am now JD Vance, Freddy Krueger 2028, because there is no better way to depose a leader than have Freddy Krueger show up in their dreams in the middle of the night, rip their chest out and suck them into their bed and bring them back to be cellmates with P. Diddy. That is how you truly do it.
100%. But you know what, like this whole Venezuelan thing, I've seen like this guy who was exposing protesters in America, and it's even like happening in Australia where people are protesting this Venezuelan thing, and this guy was going, why are you here? Like, what are you protesting against? And they're like, I'm protesting against fascism. I really don't like fascists. And they go, okay, can you explain what fascism means? What? Can you explain what fascism means? I don't have time to talk to you right now, okay?
Yeah. You want which definition do you want? Just the actual one? Yeah, it's people throwing around words because they are operantly conditioned by this bullshit state-run media, and it's easy to, they say, and even Orwell says the easiest way to spread that propaganda and thought control is through young teenage women. We're the most easily to influence. In 2025, it's not even influencer is an actual job title, like just insane how that became the playbook for where we are right now. But at the same time, everyone should be able to see it, and instead they still are just reactionary. It's crazy.
Well,
but if you sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to catch people up who maybe didn't see, basically what happened was an immigration custom enforcement officer shot and killed a Minneapolis driver on Wednesday night. Essentially what happened is the woman named Racole Macklin Good had a 6-year-old child. Videos taken by bystanders with different vantage points posted to social media show an officer approaching an SUV, stopped across the middle of the road, demanding the driver open the door. They grab the handle. The Honda pilot begins to pull forward, and a different ICE agent standing in front of the vehicle pulls his weapon out and fires 2 shots to the vehicle at close range, jumping back as the vehicle moves toward him. So right now, people in Minnesota are protesting and are upset.
All right, like that's a great news read of what the facts seem to be, right? If you're in a court. Now let's put it in the context of what fucked up America is. The lady who was taping it watched it. I've read or heard. I'm not there, so I don't know boots on the ground wise. Was her wife. So now we're talking about an LGBTQ couple who probably wear all their politics on their sleeve and also have a 6-year-old. But they leave out the fact in that story that she's LGBTQ when every other chance they get to fly the flag. Right? Like here, that would be detrimental to whoever's putting that spin out there, but it's just a straight fact. I'm not passing judgment, but that is who is putting themselves in the middle of an ICE raid because they want to be liberal, progressives and in 2025. And what does that mean when your group of friends are influencing you to do idiotic things like put your own life in the fucking streets? And if you really cared about that 6-year-old, well, I do it for my child. Well, now your child doesn't have a fucking parent because you wanted to play identity politics and put yourself someplace as a white woman, like I just said, the most influential to do that. And now to make a human shield. Well, guess what happens to human shields? They take a bullet for those that they're trying to protect. So, but now they'll play it up as these Nazi scum came in and killed this girl. She did pull away. She was headed towards another officer. The bullet did go through the windshield, not the side window. But none of that is in that story. That's up to anybody who has to pay attention and can identify propaganda and go, uh-oh, something ain't right here. Let me go look and see what else. And now I'm not out here to stump for anybody losing their life, especially to a fucking faceless police force. But this is why we don't do conspiracy horsemen anymore. A toe-to-so. I'm not the kind of person to say a toe-to-so, but I'm not going to be out here like flying the flag. Wake up, everybody. If you didn't get it by now, you're never going to get it until it comes through your windshield at about 2,000 feet per second. Then you're going to fucking get it.
Look, the loss of life is a tragic thing, and what's happened in Michigan was horrible. What happened in Bondi was horrible as well. But when we break down,
we've been doing this shit for fucking 5,000 years, killing each other for no reason. It is in our motherfucking slave DNA. It does not matter. We are fucked. It's just who we are as a weird ass animal on this planet. It's in us to kill.
100%.
For those who aren't in psychopathy wise or revenge wise, anyone can be broken to do it.
Bro, but like, let's look at the facts of what happened, right? There was an officer in front. The car went towards him. He pulled out. He eliminated that threat. That is what these people are trained to do at the end of the day. They are trained to be calm under pressure and to make life-threatening decisions. People were saying this guy should be fired. This guy should be terminated. This guy should face criminal charges. The fact is, they will review this. They will have internal affairs review this. And this officer will get off scot-free for disarming that firearm at that time because he felt his life was in danger. And the facts are, they have the evidence of video proof that shows it from any angle. It shows that car moving forward in any direction. That car could have gone bang at any second.
Yeah.
And
she was there to do that, to disobey and to not follow any orders and compliance and think they could hide behind their righteousness and feelings because that's what they've been taught is the most important thing.
But this is a big lesson of,
guess what?
You want to fuck around, you find out.
Glock does not give a fuck about your righteousness and feelings after it's been touched off.
As I just said, you want to fuck around, you're going to find out. And unfortunately, this young person has found out and this young child has lost a parent. And I think the reason why the LGBTQ plus community hasn't come out and said this is a part of it, because it's very clear in the evidence, in the facts, that the person behind the wheel was in the wrong and drove the car towards a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
It's clear as cut, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to...
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just always shocked when people like do stuff like this, whether it's ICE agents, whether you're getting pulled over, like people just making a big deal out of something simple or putting themselves in jeopardy, and then there's an uproar when there's, consequences to the actions.
Stupid
Yeah.
behavior. It's stupid
Well,
behavior.
that's what they do. They bitch, and pour gas on the fire. And then when they get burned, because the fire's burning real hot, they go, "Oh, I'm the victim. The fire hurt me." After they stoked it to that level,
Yeah.
right? And that's exactly what they want to do. They want any way to play. Now, I'm not here to have, government agencies shooting people in the streets. But
No.
then I do also Schadenfreude love when they get right up in their faces because they think they watched fucking Forrest Gump and they can protest like they're with Jenny in the 60s. And then they get fucking blasted in the face with bear spray. I could watch those videos all day long. I could watch millennials getting massively fucking maced in the face and the shock and that instant that burn sets in, bro. If you've never been pepper sprayed, it is a motherfucker. And it takes all the air out of your lungs almost instantly. It's just great. Like it just takes all that piss and vinegar and instantly stomps it into the ground of like, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done to myself?
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
I
like,
love it.
yeah.
But
I remember a dude getting pepper sprayed years ago out the front of my mate's apartment, and this guy was a big dude. And the cop, I don't know what this guy was on. The cop pulled it out and sprayed him in his face, and this guy just was like, ah, and started ripping the cop's shirt. Like the cop was like grabbing his gun just to make sure he didn't fucking get it
Wow.
taken off him and stuff. Yeah, like other
That's
cop
hot,
cars
huh?
nowhere. Yeah, like this. Yeah, but the pepper spray. Just
We were-
pissed this
we were
guy
in a-
fuck off.
we were at a party in high school, and a guy who was older brother to one of the dudes is a cop there, and he was a young cop, and fucking knew we were up there underage drinking. Fucking came into the barn. Oh, get out! Everybody was like, "Oh, it's fucking." I won't say his name, but and then he's standing there, like all of us are underage drinking. Cops in there, and all of a sudden you just hear, and fucking, he's like, "All right, boys." And then everyone starts calling. Dude, he unloaded half a can in the barn, windows closed. It was fucking, he gassed us in there. And we were all run outside puke because we were half in the bag, 18 years old, fucking snot dripping out of our eyes and nose. Oh, it was horrible, bro. It was a good one.
Ages, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was a good lesson.
Not to jump around here, but I want to address your name today, Vance Kruger 2028. Let's talk about that. CM Punk
Yeah.
says Freddy Krueger molested children and people are stoked on him. I guess that makes him Republican. While speaking to my mom's basement with Robbie Fox, CM Punk was asked to name the best horror movie villain. His response was, horror villain? I mean, are we like, is Michael Myers a villain? 100%. Do you not think he's a villain? You think he's a good guy? Listen, man, Freddy Krueger molested children and people are stoked on him. I guess that makes him a Republican. What a weird thing to say. Ben, I think you froze.
When Ben comes back, I'll respond to that in the thing. Professional wrestlers, both professional and indie. No one gives a fuck about your political views. Just fucking wrestle. No one gives a fuck who you vote for. No one gives a fuck who you support, right? No one cares. Just go and do what you get paid to fucking do and wrestle. No one gives a fuck about your political allegiances or whatever the fuck it is you want to support. Just go and fucking wrestle. That's what people pay you to fucking do. Rant over. Sorry.
No, I think Ben doesn't. Yeah, Ben just realized he's frozen, so he's going to back out and come back in. Before he comes back in, shout out to Scott Woodford. $1.99 super chat says, I'm running for governor of Minnesota. Not kidding. Well, Scott, let us know, and we'll definitely put the word out and help get you some votes, potentially. I don't know.
Huge shout out to
Scott. He continued on here and said, CM Punk, that being, says, it's got to be Michael Myers. Nobody did it better than John Carpenter. He spawned the entire genre. There is no Friday the 13th without John Carpenter. There's possibly no Freddy Krueger. It's a little bit different, but the slasher movie didn't really exist, and he made it into an entire genre. Everybody needs to write checks to John Carpenter. Yeah, I just think it's so weird that we live in such a societal age where people have to now, use fictional characters that have been around for 30, 40 plus years and equate that to modern day politics.
I don't remember. Like, I probably did watch Freddy Krueger, but it was probably like so long ago. Like, is that the whole premise of the story? Like, Freddy was a rock spider.
I think he just went into people's dreams and killed people. I thought that was the premise.
Yeah, I thought that was a whole thing. He was like a nightmare.
Yeah,
like
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, like where did the whole like rock spider thing come from? That's like, was it the actor that got accused? Like, but he's been in shit like it recently, like in movies, right? Like, has they suffered? It's come out about the actor.
Yeah,
Like, is that what he means? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to throw any accusations.
Yeah, no, but still, it's just like we're taking a fictional character and we're saying, oh, this fictional character did this, so that must make him Republican. It's like when they originally wrote that character, I don't think somebody was sitting around at the time going, I'm going to make Freddy Krueger Republican. But we're just now isolating specific, instances, and we're blowing them up to try and I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, to try and
create a narrative
create a narrative that supports your own beliefs.
But that's the same thing as like when I saw a thing where it's like some person was saying that the Wizard of Oz was like so ahead of its time, and it was LGBTQ plus friendly and trans plus friendly, and it was all this and all that. No, it wasn't. It was based on the owner's fucking like real life people that he knew or they knew, and characters and dreams and shit like that. It was never fucking like meant to be some fucking, like alphabet mafia fucking like predicting the future. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Bobo says in the newer films, they pretty much turned him into a PDF file. And Troy Manth 5269 says he was burned by the kids that he molested parents after they found out molested kids' parents after they found out what he did. But still, why do we have to then equate that to one specific political ideology? There are crazy people on every side of every political side that are 100%. Monsters that do stuff to children. You know what I mean?
100%. And look, as a parent, when people use that word, it's like, man, if you use that word about someone and you say that about someone or whatever, like, then it's got to, like, I don't know, man. That's a pretty fucking, like, as a parent, you hear that word, you get a bit fucking terrified, right?
Yeah.
You want to protect your kids, but like, I don't know, man. I think CM Punk needs to shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck about his opinions politically. He was asked about a fucking horror film, and I think he's just like, I don't know, trying to be like the punk rocker in WWE because they're all attached to Trump and the Republican Party. He's like, no, I'm anti-establishment, but I'm 50 years old and we'll go over to Saudi Arabia for fucking $1 million paydays. But yeah, whatever, man. You fucking twat.
I mean, that's a good point. That is a good point. While we're waiting for Ben, I'll let him come back on, and we'll go back to that CM Punk story. But
sure.
Logan Paul has officially signed a long-term contract with WWE that will have him working full-time. In a video published to his YouTube channel, The Visions, Logan Paul announced he has signed a new contract with WWE. I actually just signed my official long-term contract with WWE, so I'm officially a full-timer now. All you people saying I'm a part-timer can shut your mouth. Feels good. Feels good to have a job. Your boy is going to be working. I'm excited to get the year started. 2026, man. I want to hit it hard. I want to become the best wrestler I can be, become the best husband, father, and business partner I can be. I'm feeling so good about this year. Let's go, baby. What are your thoughts on Logan Paul now becoming a full-time wrestler versus maybe just being a specific, one-off, not one-off, but like a special selective? Actually, you know what? Ben's back. So Ben, what are your thoughts on, I was going to jump around here, but
bro.
No, you're good. We gave our thoughts on the CM Punk stuff. What are your thoughts on CM Punk equating Freddy Krueger or, choosing a specific character fictionalized and saying that anybody who supports him or he must be Republican?
Will Freddy Krueger wrestle with his shirt off? I think is the first hurdle for everybody to get over. Yeah, the guy's picking a fictionalized character, but like that's taken out of context, right? Like,
right.
Believe me, I'm the first one to smash on Punk for a myriad of reasons that don't agree with my own personal philosophy, but at the same time, he's over as fuck, so he don't give a shit what I think. But the guy, is Mike Myers a heel? And then they went to Freddy Krueger and he gave that answer, right? So it's not like he's just out there going, Freddy Krueger molested, so he must be in the GOP. Like, taken out of context by the sheets. It's just a headline that is ridiculous. And, everyone knows Punk wears his politics pretty, in the face of other people, very Chicago about it, especially in AEW. Where that gets you over more. They're doing it right now with Brody. I can't remember his last name. He's got the Abolish Ice shirts on. He was with Aleister Black.
King?
Brody King. Yeah. So Punk doing that, it's on brand, and that's where his mind goes to, just like mine. I can easily spin out and do 5 minutes on fucking anything from Operation Northwoods to 9/11 World Trade Center 7 to bring it all back. That's what our crazy ass minds do. The mind does it, his does it. So it was taken out of context. Now, will Freddy Krueger run with JD Vance? I think that's a hell of a ticket. I don't think there's any other fictional character politician combination of horror film that could possibly, maybe Pennywise could give Pennywise and Michelle Obama, maybe. I don't know.
You don't think it's offensive in any way? Then I guess that he's characterizing and he's just making some sort of blanket statement, or he's inferring that people who are molesting children are all Republican.
Yeah, that. So Bill Clinton is the biggest Republican in the party. Classic Bill Clinton GOP. Is that what we're doing? How many kids do you see Joe Biden sniff their head? Is he GOP? Let's go down the Epstein Island list if it ever gets in. We'll see what the split is. I'd probably say it's 70-30. But I would lean towards liberals in that in that regard. So again, that's just him being Chicago, being in a bubble, like probably watching the news right before he came on, and he's feeling some kind of way, and it gets taken out of context. Does Punk feel that way about right wingers? Yeah, of course he does, because he's manipulated by all that bubble in the system. And if he really feels that way or hates them so much, well, you're taking a check from the guy who was just in the Oval Office of the White House, who's now on the staff of the president. So what does that make you if you're slamming the GOP for being kid diddlers and whatever the fuck else? You're taking a check from them. So what does that make you? And that's go ahead.
I was going to say, as Pierce pointed out while you were getting the audio issues, and he's going to Saudi Arabia and taking a big check there, right?
But he wants to hold on to all that fucking anti-establishment or morality, and I've got the upper hand because I don't drink and I don't do whatever. Oh, I do a little gas here and there, but that's not really a drug. I don't consider that a drug. I don't do that. Like bullshit, dude. And that is why he is who he is. Like, can he wrestle? Can he cut a great promo? Absolutely. Does he understand sports entertainment at a very high level? 100%. I take nothing away from him in that regard. But when it comes to, hey, my best friend and I are doing a podcast, and now I'll pay your attorney fees, and then now we're not friends anymore and all that, like that's telling to me of the man. So when I see things like this, even though the dirt sheets take him out of context and what I've seen from his behavior before, I don't need to keep going back to it. It just doesn't jive with who I am and what I'm about. And I lived in Chicago for 6 years, so it's not just like I'm throwing the city under the bus, and I lived with all actors. So I've seen this fucking right wing or left wing shit in everything, right? And then watched it spin out of control. So I know what that Chicago corruption bubble is about. I have a lot of friends I love who are still live there still, that are extreme left wingers, and I just don't go at them like that because I know who they really are because we've shared time together. And when I see them reacting to things online, that is half for their own edification, and the other half is to be like, well, they see I'm woke, so maybe I'll get a Saturday Night Live audition. They'll never admit that, but that's exactly why they fucking all do it. And that's part of the power play of Hollywood that holds that over Chicago's head. If you were to try and be a conservative in that fucking scene, you would not get a shot at all, dude. You wouldn't.
Same with Indian
Go ahead.
wrestling.
Yeah. So yeah, at AEW, you probably wouldn't have for a while either. You had to kayfabe all that, unless you're way over like Jericho. No one was going up to Jericho talking that shit, I bet you. So again, they're selective. These liberals are selective in when they pick their soft targets to do that. And then if you double back on them after they burn themselves, oh, aren't they the victim? That's the game they play. When I say find the game and play it out, that's their whole MO. And once you can destroy
You're breaking
that
up,
very easily by just calling out the game. Sorry, guys, my internet's the shits today. I don't know, storm or whatever.
Hey, there he is. We got you.
Yeah, sorry, boys, my internet's the shits. I don't know what's going on, man. Whether it's the storm, there was big ice, freezing rain last night, so maybe some lines are down or something.
When you said ice, I thought they were going to sort of raiding in on your house.
They better come heavy.
We were jumping around to the next story here. Logan Paul officially signed a long-term contract with WWE, and my question was, do you feel maybe, Ben, that this is going to take away the specialness of Logan Paul? Because, I mean, they've kind of used him as a part-time attraction, right? But now that he's signed a full-time contract, could potentially Logan Paul get lost in the shuffle and just be another face on TV?
That's interesting, right? Because you're a feature and then you go to a main carder because of how good you are. But that guy doesn't have many holes in his game that need to be protected. He just needs to be led by somebody who's got a lot more experience than him, you know? Because he's delivered, in my opinion, in nearly every aspect, over delivered that you could have even remotely asked for somebody from the outside. And now you're being accepted into the mob and you've jumped the line. And now you're not an outsider YouTuber. Now you're a signed pro wrestler. Different set of rules. You're not a guest anymore. You're one of the boys. And as one of the boys, you protect certain things and you're not over anymore. You were over on the outside, and this shit, you're not. I don't care if you're in the main event or not until you draw for 15 years straight. Then you're over. Right. So it is interesting to make him a full timer. Now, what does that mean though in fucking 2026? Used to be, if this was 1990, you'd be working 300 days a year. Full timer in 2026 might mean 40, 70 dates in there. You know what I mean? So the brag of it all isn't the standard that it used to be. I'm not saying it's not a hard workload and that you got to deliver and that you're flying to Saudi, to Brisbane, to fucking, London, back to Houston. That's the worst part of it. It's not the matches. It's that, yeah. So we'll see if it takes any shine off him, but I feel like that guy's talent is so polished and above other people on the roster that he can stay above them. He can out promo almost anybody right now. So you watch his shit and you're like, wow, this guy has just got it. And then you watch Braun Breaker try and do NXT promo class with CM Punk face to face, like it's a test. Can he hang with the pipe bomber in the ring? Like they put it out there. And no, I see tons of nervous ticks. I see stammering. I see, a lot of holes that would have been taken care of if NXT really had an acting coach, someone who understands how to teach how to act for camera, getting rid of bad habits. You got Becky Lynch doing the exact same thing. they've been hired for how long? So it'll be easy for Logan Paul if they give him the right stuff, to stay on top, and because his talent will outshine these people that are coming from NXT that they're saying are so great, they don't deliver most of the time.
100%. And we actually, when we were talking on the I think it was the last time I was on the air with Jimmy T and Big Ray, we were talking about, and this is where I was thinking about it, where the big money is here, and WWE to pull out the money truck and back it up to Jake Paul's house. Jake Paul, Logan Paul tag team. And if Jake's anywhere as talented and takes to it as Logan has, brother.
Well, I agree with that. Jake Paul's got way more heat than Logan Paul kind of does. Like Logan is the cool shortstop that you want to punch in the face. Jake is the bully, you know what I mean, of the school is what it feels like to me. And putting them together would be good, but then let Jake fuck it up for Logan, and then you split them and have a brothers feud. And Logan will be good enough by that time to lead Jake, and you walk him through it 58,000 times. Yeah. Like that's where there's money, right? People want to see like Brett and Owen go at it. So
they want to see life tension, because everyone's who's grown up with a sibling knows what it's like to have that competitiveness with a sibling, whether it's for the parents' affection or for who's the best athlete, who's the best fucking math fucking genius or whatever it is. So I think it's one of the most relatable stories to tell. And if you do it in pro wrestling and do it right, baby, let's go.
Yeah. And the moment if they have a ton of heat and Logan Paul goes over for the title and Jake's there celebrating the ring, they're rubbing it in everybody's faces for kind of like 6 months that they're the most over guys in the world. Now you can make a baby face off of who's that to dethrone him, or you just fucking make Logan the baby face and Jake turns on him out of jealousy.
Yeah,
there's a lot to be done there. There's millions and millions of dollars there, you know.
If you look at the history,
there will be jealousy, and there will be different rules for Logan Paul now. He doesn't realize that. Even though he's been at the top of the card and huge shows, it's a different bump in the mafia. It's weird.
But so do you think it's going to be treated from like, hey, like everyone's going to be like, hey, Logan, how are you? To fucking what's up? I
think he's already in with that because of the podcast and how I've seen him interact with wrestlers already. I think he's already got the good brother stamp because he's delivered. You know what I mean? But there's a difference when guy worked 10 years on the indies and this guy's at the top of the card, and now we're on the same level in the locker room. You're not a guest anymore. You're one of us, and you wanted to be, and that's cool. But guess what? The time for being babied is over with, my guy.
Yeah. Well, he's been there for a few years now, right? Like he's seasoned on the road.
Yeah, but I don't
like not like I'm saying.
Dude, Rip said this, and it's true because I felt it. You don't get this shit till you're 8 to 10 years in it, and then the rib is your body starts falling apart right when you get it, and now you have to switch to character because you can't wrestle like you used to. So anybody 3 to 4 years, that's what Braun Breaker said. I've done this in 3 years. I've gotten to the top. Or even the dude who was in the face of Sami Zayn there, Tricky W or whatever. I'm not waiting 20 years. I'm jumping the line. I'm like, good luck. Go jump. See how it fucking works out for you, bro. Because there's a lot more to this, you know, of staying on top, staying healthy, picking your opponents, getting the storylines you want, as opposed to everybody just like, I want to work with him because he's competent and I can get a good match out of him, and I'll get to be the highlight to work with Logan Paul. Logan Paul's going to have to start making guys now. It's different.
Yeah. I think one of the most underrated people on the roster would be The Miz, and I feel like a lot of guys we should want to actually be The Miz, because like dude's accomplished everything. He's had a 20 plus year career.
I would say Logan Paul is very similar in the character archetype,
but like hardly any injuries. Wrestles like a pretty whatever you want to call it style, but like his over is always over, whether it's heel or face. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you the style he wrestles. It's OVW, Danny Davis, 101. Like, that's why you can have a career. If you are truly trained properly, you don't need to do dumbass fucking high spots. Or if you do a high spot or two, you know when to put it in your match. So you're not like, this guy can't even get his head scissors off in the main event when this is his big test, right? Did anybody give a shit about anything in the rest of that? No, it goes viral that he can't even do the Frankensteiner, which is fine because his last name's not Steiner. So it's the Frankenbreaker didn't work this time. Maybe the Frankensteiner will. I would try that. That'd be my advice for next time.
Let me ask you this, right? Do you think in that match that he was scheduled to go over and they saw something? Because I feel like as that match went on, he sort of got more and more exposed. And I don't know if that was Punk burying him or not, like when I went back and watched the match again. Yeah. But do you think they made an audible and say, nah, man, just keep it on Punk?
No, good question, and I've seen that online, but no, that all that was, and you see it, and this is how I would produce it too, to some degree. But it's, you get a guy ready, and they've done it way too fast. What did they have him do? Run around the ring, spear a guy, right? He runs 22 miles an hour. He can run the ropes so fast. Oh, big fucking deal, right? Like, so there's your Goldberg 30 seconds. Then they twist him into being with Seth as a muscle for him, right? Because that gets him near Heyman, who gives him more heat, and gets near Seth, who's a main eventer, so you can start grooming him. Then you get him to this point where can he play promo practice with CM Punk? And we get to watch that abortion. And then they have a match where they're just going, all right, let's get this kid in the main event, let him see what it feels like to have to do, 2 comebacks and da-da-da-da. And that's how they're building a guy, which isn't wrong, but he's not a Steiner. He's not ready. His promos aren't ready. And he's now nervous in the main event that he's going too fast and can't get his signature shit in that is of his family's heritage that we don't reference. So, like, that's how you build it. To have him go over on Punk there would have been way too much. He can't even handle what's on his plate now. And it's not his fault. It's because he's been falsely told he's ready. He's been put in spots, Yeah. So like that's all their own doing. I don't really put it on the performers that much. These kids are just that. They're kids. That's how you have to look at them. They want to play men, but right now I'm watching it like I watch a middle school, high school production. I'm not watching. When I think of professionals, I think of Daniel Day-Lewis. I think of Michael Shannon, James Gandolfini. I'm not that's the high level. So these kids are 4th grade doing the fucking Christmas pageant. That's about the level they're performing.
100%. And like even like with these kids in these matches, but like what we were saying about Breaker and CM Punk, it kind of reminded me with the promo years ago between Cena and Reigns, when Reigns was sort of just becoming up in there, and like
exactly what it was.
But Cena punked him the fuck, like back then, punked him the fuck out on the mic. Where it was like
they did the same. They did the same thing to Austin Theory, and that's what killed Austin Theory that in one night. They're like Cena, we want you, but he's the next you. He's the heel you. Da-da-da. Oh, okay. Let's see. And Cena goes out and doesn't do John Cena, you can't see me babyface. He puts the kid's nuts on the line and chops him in front of everybody just so he can see how he's going to be able to deal with it. And Austin Theory, after that match, didn't deal with it. And then he was on the shelf with Waller, and that didn't go anywhere. We had Cleopatra's Egg, which was phenomenal. And until we come back as the masked douchebag. Like, Cena cut, when they're like, does Cena cut throats? That's a perfect example of modern day when he just did it.
All right, let's jump to the next story here. Ken Glenn Jacobs advises Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson not to get involved in politics. While speaking to Going Ringside, Kane was asked about the teases surrounding Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson potentially running for president of the United States. He said, if I were him, I wouldn't. Politics is incredibly contentious and toxic right now, Everybody likes Dwayne, no matter what side of the political spectrum, because he's a great entertainer and he's just a good guy. You got to remember that no matter what you say in politics, 50% of the people are just going to knee-jerk disagree with you, and you're going to really tick some folks off. I mean, I've had to deal with that, obviously. So, if I were him, I would advise him not to do that personally, and you can still have an impact. Obviously, you see folks that do great work through philanthropy, and as well as getting involved in politics behind the scenes. And that can be just as important as what happens out in the public eye. So I would advise him not to, because it's not one of those things where you can go in and, oh my gosh, he's really famous and everybody's going to like him. No, what's going to happen is you're going to immediately alienate half of your fan base, which can be an uncomfortable place to be. Now, is Kane coming from a good, is he coming from a good place, or does Kane not want Rock to leave the party?
That's interesting, because the wrestling mafia truly knows. Kane knows who Rock is, and Rock knows who Kane is, right? More than us just saying, I know it's Glenn Jacobs and Dwayne Johnson, like referring to him like that. Those are top level capos in the mob, right? So they know more than anybody about who they truly are. So that's an interesting take on that. I wasn't even looking at that perspective, but Kane would also know about being in politics, even at a much smaller level, and what that takes. And if you haven't dealt with bureaucracy aside from wrestling, politics, it's different, obviously, right? Now, I say that, but anybody who thinks The Rock is just going to go, I'm going to run for president because I care about America. Dude, he's going to run for president if the people who control him tell him he's running for fucking president. Like, everyone yearns for that 80s Reagan era. Dude, Reagan was an actor put on to pay the way into being the governor, which had him nothing more than a front for that sacred cow GOP. Like, he was an actor. They'll do the same shit with Rock or Cena. I can almost guarantee it. One of those two is going to be very president, I believe, in my lifetime, because they've already shown that they are a geopolitical force. You can go to any fucking continent and say Rock or John Cena, just like you can Hulk Hogan, and people will know who the fuck they are. And when you want a world leader, having a world name brand is the way to go, right? So if the Saudis say it's so, if Israel says it's so via Hollywood, brother, you're the new guy. And it's not like you got to know, because they're already controlling everything behind the scenes. You're just a fucking puppet, like you always have been. Vince McMahon wrote your shit. You went out and performed it, right? Or Vince Russo wrote your shit. You went out and performed it. So they can deliver, and they will be the testosterone shot of fucking, well, by that time, Rock's going to be pretty old. So, like, he'll probably be a different version of himself. He'll look like Obama kind of by then, like that size, But it'll still be like, who wants to fuck with America? We got The Rock and John Cena. It'll be on some idiocracy shit.
Yeah.
I said years ago that The Rock is going to run for the US presidency, and he'll fucking win by a fucking landslide.
Sure.
Just imagine The Rock shirt off, bullets fucking down that with
But
two.
you got to do it sooner than later, because of his sexual appeal is dwindling. And to get Gen Xers will be easy. To get younger people might be a little tougher, but I don't know. They came up on Moana and all that shit. And what's the one where they're in the jungle and they switch bodies? Jumanji. Yeah. Jumanji. Get me Jumanji. That's going to be his running mate.
If you look at it from the other side of the spectrum, right? Like, if like you look at A-list celebrities today, they don't really have as much influence as what they did like 20, 30 years ago. And the majority of people that have influence, and you saw with the US presidency, where Trump went on all the politics, started hanging around and fucking with all the streamers, Nelk boys, all that sort of shit, tapped into the youth market, where Kamala Harris had like De Niro, like all these A-list celebrities supporting her, and like no one gave a fuck about it, right? Like it was a massive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great point, where they had Megan Thee Stallion and all them, and like the big names, and that showed that they're out of touch with what really runs shit. Even us, like with TV ratings, who gives a fuck? Like, I haven't turned on TV and cable in years. You know what I mean? Like, to go by these metrics that we were programmed and conditioned to say that this is what success is, when the CIA led the op to go, you know what's hot? Comedy podcasts. You know who's the guy? Joe Rogan, and he's got a lot of friends. Let's bring them all in the fold. And they did. And then they sent them all to Saudi. Like, the plan is right there of who's running it and how they're doing it. and they'll look at the next thing of who the influencers are. And then you watch the comedy guys turn on each other because they sacrificed their artistic integrity in a very CM Punk kind of way, you know? So
100%. But like, you look at guys like The Rock, Rogan, once they get to that level of fame, they can't actually be super base. They can't, not actually going to present themselves of actually who they fucking are, because like they're worth so much money. Like Kai Cenat, like guys like that, when they're reached that level of fame and money and they've got that much money behind them and invested into them, they can't actually turn around and make comments that they may actually believe in, because they have to protect their fucking brand. So they have to be kind of woke to a certain extent.
I would say with Rogan, it's an interesting case study. Others that would be true. And I know Rogan kayfabes a ton because his audience is so wide that he definitely has to. But during the pandemic, he was saying things that nobody else was at that time about treatments and that shit. But at the end of the day, he's a TKO property. UFC, I bet Ari got him the Spotify deal. And when whoever tells Ari to move from Jerusalem or wherever, you fucking move. And if they want that, then they will. Joe Rogan could take a run as a vice president too.
Oh, dude, 100%. I actually saw him and Theo Von doing a podcast, and like Theo Von's like brought up Israel, and Rogan was completely kayfabe. What are you talking about?
Let's
Like,
just stop right there. Theo Von is a Southern. I mean, he's not stupid. He plays the Southern Gomer Pyle thing, and ironically funny. But why would that guy have the connections in the last year to the guests that he's had? It did not. Most of the guests he had don't line up with what Theo Von should be. And he's even said something about, depression and dying, and Israel didn't do it. So now you got Southern drawl comedians referencing Israel. Like they're Freudian slipping. They're telling on themselves that they are owned by our clandestine organizations now. And it goes, or anybody who went to that fucking Saudi show is on that list and is being paid via that way. And even Chappelle's newest comedy special, to me, it was more of like, let me tell you why special and try and cover my tracks so I don't lose my fan base special.
yep.
Like there wasn't many jokes in there. You know what I mean? So that to me, and you can just get one on Netflix out of nowhere. Guess who else is in on it? I said this the other day on Russo Brand. I don't think the Saudis are buying WWE anymore. I think they're buying all of Netflix and everything that comes with it. WWE will be in the package, but at this time, I think that it's going to be an even way bigger deal than what we thought. I think instead of $20 billion for WWE or whatever it might have been, and UFC, you might be looking at $200 billion deal for the entire platform.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Because if you want to bring sports and NFL, and NFL's already doing deals with Netflix, and you got wrestling and you got UFC, isn't it so much easier to have it all in one instead of keep doing separate side deals?
Yeah.
I think that's coming 2030, 2031 maybe.
Yeah.
They could either be that or buying TKO out completely, but you're saying they're buying TKO and Netflix. So buying
Because Netflix will have part of NFL, and they won't be able to buy the NFL outright. But
No.
if they have a deal with them and then they own Netflix, now we can have the Saudi Bowl. You thought the Super Bowl was big? Wait to see the fucking Saudi Bowl.
Yeah.
God damn. Let's roid them up, boys. Let's go.
Last bit of piece of information here, because I mean I've got some other ones, but some of them are really long. I don't want to go dive too deep into it. But Steve Austin says advice to young wrestlers: sell, don't make it look like a dance. While speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Stone Cold Steve Austin commented on what advice he would give to young wrestlers: sell, and as the business has changed and there's more time to put together a match, don't make it look like a dance. Not everything is perfect. Put some struggle in there. Put a little bit of slop in there when slop would be warranted. Did you ever see Bret Hart deep in a match, maybe 20, 25 minutes in, and he just looks like he's beat to death? He's huffing, he's puffing. He ain't blown up. That's just him showing how tired he is from being exhausted. He always had this look on his face, and he could go all night long. That was him showing you how hard it was on him. That's the toll it's taking on him. He's showing you. But to go back and answer your question, sell. Learn how to work. Don't learn how to act. I just think there's a difference between working and acting. Your thoughts, Ben?
It's interesting, and he's had a lot of acting gigs, so he has a perspective in the difference of how he feels about it. But I think that working is subcategory of acting. It's just more physical. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's plenty of different styles of acting, from melodrama to silent film. But what he's saying is you're in the moment and you're feeling it, and you're, how would I react to this? And I really got punched in the face. And I agree 100% with Steve Austin of sell. Everything is in the sell. If you know sell me, nothing means anything, which is why I absolutely can't stand watching Dragunov matches where they fucking register sell back like they're dead and I'm alive and hit you with 4 things, and then you register sell dead and come back to that's not selling. When you're beating somebody fucking down and you got them down, they're crawling. They're trying to bring themselves back up while you can stand over them and get the boos. Shawn Michaels coming up the ropes. Jamin Olivencia is one of the best sellers I've ever seen. And Jamin used to do in practice at Rips, fight the Invisible Man. I know that's seems like a rib, but that's it. So if you're just there and you fucking are, and you can see the move of the other guy without it doing based on the sell. And now can you do that? I'm kicking my own ass or whatever it is, right? And take a fucking clothesline, duck one. You could, if you know the pacing, you should be able to do a high spot and take the bumps and make it look like there's somebody really running the ropes. You're not going to be able to body slam yourself unless you can fucking figure out how to invert gravity for yourself. But there's plenty. You could tell a whole match versus the Invisible Man based on your selling. No, all the offense would be inferred. So that's an extreme thing, but are they doing any of that? What is sell practice at NXT? I don't see any of that. I see, here's how we dive. Here's how everybody stands there. Or here's how I do a fucking inverted flip cutter off the middle rope that I would never do in a real fight. You ever seen a real fight? Somebody flip off a wall, hit a fucking chin breaker on somebody? No, you never seen that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Once, but I was high on acid.
Yeah. But that's what they're teaching these motherfuckers. Meanwhile, I watch Best of WCW and Norman Smiley's out there going like this. Who the fuck is doing that in the middle of their match? Nobody. I got to hit my Cody Breaker 5000 on you so you can kick out on one. Or you hit all the moves and then we don't even know how to pin properly and we're doing title changes because nobody knows how to kick out. Let's go back to the fundamentals. Kick out drills, how to sell, how to throw a fucking punch. How many people are on the main roster who have the most rotten dog shit punches, ground and pound? And it's not just the women. There's plenty of men. Their shit looks so bad. When if the person taking it sold, you pick them up, look in their face, fuck you, da-da-da-da, and one. And they take it and they sell like you just broke their jaw, like we just saw with Jake Paul. What does that look like? Nope. I'm going to get right back up and I'm going to punch you in the face. No, dickhead. Stay down. Get empathy. Give me heat. They don't. Why? How is that not being taught at NXT? I don't see that at fundamental in any of these people whatsoever. Not the Luchas, not Dragunov, nobody that comes up there. Not any of the fucking D1 point guard black guys that they got there, from Trick Williams to Javon, whoever the fuck to that. And then they're so in the bubble that Obafemi laid down the title on NXT last night. You laid down a developmental title. They act like it's a fucking world championship, bro. Like it's the legacy that he held this fucking, it's like, hey, remember when we won the high school swim team trophy? I'm laying it down. I'm laying it down for everybody, dude. That's what it is. That's how fucking retarded they are, bro. That they think they're I just won the Olympic gold and I held it, and now this was for my people. Dude, you're developmental. Get your head out of your ass and go learn the trade. If you've been here 3 years, you really are the equivalent of what a 3-year-old is. You just stop crapping in your diapers and you're just learning to be able to ride a fucking tricycle. That's where you are on this shit. You're not up here. You don't have a belt and a legacy, and you've drawn a house. You've performed in front of a conditioned audience in Florida where you all live in overpriced fucking condos, where the trendiest little shit to act like you're over and that we're superstars and we can do no wrong. And they really believe that a developmental title is some legacy piece. I have to lay it down. They really need to work on their mental status, bro, of the reality of what they're doing. Because wrestling is not popular. Nobody outside of this tiny wrestling bubble knows who Oba Femi is, bro. And the guy's got millions of dollars written on him. I'm not saying he sucks. They'll fuck it up. They couldn't get Omos over. They couldn't get Apollo Crews over. They couldn't get Big E over. What do you think is going to happen to this big bastard? Nothing. Because somebody's going to expose him as being too green, or he'll expose himself. And then someone will look at Triple H and go, and you won't have to say nothing. And the next week, you're out there doing the Running Man with R-Truth going, what's up?
Fucking hell.
Pierce, any thoughts to wrap this up on that topic?
Fuck. I mean, look, I think the whole thing with Obafemi, right? They took the belt off him, put it on Ricky Starks, then had Starks drop the belt to him just to have him a couple of weeks lay the fucking belt down. Like, it just seems to me there's no thought in any process of what they're trying to put out on television for the NXT brand. Even the segment of that, I thought it was complete. Like, what the fuck? Like, you see Ava, like The Rock's daughter backstage doing a vignette or whatever, and then someone comes in and goes, wait, did you just see what Obafemi did? And next thing you know, the belt's in the middle of the ring, and it's like, okay, that's fucking underwhelming as fuck, bro. Like, as Ben said, like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just, yeah, like the title had been made to look like, I don't know, like, just, yeah. They're not really running NXT that well.
Yeah, the scene to do it, if you want to get Obafemi over his legacy and someone who appreciates it, is you make it feel like graduation day, where he's in the ring with Rock's daughter to give her over, to hand out the title. Boom, he's about to say thank you to all the fans. Hit the music. Out comes your next big heel. Boom, hit the music again. Out comes another heel. We have tug of war. They go at it, and now we're off to the races, and you put it on a heel, and then you can make a baby face off of that. But let the heels look like scrappy little rats while Obafemi looks above them. Instead, they look at it like, he graduated and moved on to the main roster. Dude, that was such a mind fuck. Did he get a contract? Is he on main roster? Like, you would watch guys tuned so tight, bro. Like, a guy I have a ton of respect for, that they wound tight as a fucking whippoorwill's asshole, bro, was fucking Damian Sandow when he was airing the Idol Stevens at OVW. Has all the tools to draw money, has all the skills. Yeah, huge, amazing talent. Dude, they would have him fucking before they called him up and he got to do all the Damian Sandow stuff. I remember him having almost panic attack level like breathing shit, bro. And I can understand why, when they're just trying to break you with that. And these kids don't know what that was like. And that's only a 18-year disconnect. Now they're like the developmental god, as opposed to fucking, holy shit, JBL's gonna fucking get me thrown out of the locker room. Like, that's what Idol had to worry about. And like, here's what these guys get to worry about. It's just such a millennial wipe my ass daddy for me fucking formula now that makes lackluster performers out of unmolded clay that could make, epic sculptures of David if you had people crafting it the right way.
But it's like young performers even now. Like I see guys that are like coming up and training like that I'm around regularly, and I see veterans going up and trying to break shit down for them and give them advice. And these guys are like, yeah, but no, like, but like this young kid had a match against a veteran, and they get backstage. Veteran goes, "Bro, you fucking punched me in the mouth, went to give me a clothesline, and then hit me in the fucking nose." And the response a normal person would be like, "Fuck, did I, bro? I'm so sorry, man. I was just like, whatever, blah blah blah." This guy is like, "No, I didn't." And the veteran's like, "Okay, bro, no, you fucking didn't. Like, I'm lying to you, bro." Like, and it's the same shit over. Like, you can see it's the same shit there, bro. Like, it's
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Joey Mercury 101. Never miss a chance to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
and do it. And I see it. It's got to be a generation useless millennial thing, because I even see it in my own shop where if I try and correct him about, oh, don't be on your phone. There was cause I wasn't. Okay, let's roll back that beautiful bean footage. I only got 16 cameras in here with AI for fucking my own edification, bro. I'm watching you on the fucking monitor. Is I don't think it's CGIing your phone while there's customers on the floor, but their defense mechanism. I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Okay.
I had a referee come up to me and go, "Can you give me advice?" Came back and go, "What'd you think?" And I was like, quickly, because I was getting ready for my thing, I said, "Watch the match. Yeah, you did really well. Blah blah blah. This and this." And he was like, "Yeah, but." And I'm like, "Dude, do you want me to give you advice or do you want me to put you over? What do you want? I only have time."
Yeah.
He goes, "Can you give me advice and put me over?" And I said, "You did this wrong, but your shoes were tied up correctly." Cool. All right.
Rip would just say best ever. Yeah, that was the best one since the last one. Oh shit.
I'm gonna steal.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That Obafemi guy, I think, has all the potential in the world. I thought he did good on his debut, but based on the track record of garbage effort trying to get guys over, he'll probably have a Nigerian accent and a big spear by next week.
Bro, let's make him Black Lesnar, man. Seriously, he's massive.
Yeah. Well, we had Black Lesnar. His name was Bobby Lashley, and instead we did a let's marry fucking Rusev's wife and put blackface paint or makeup on her because that would be funny, and then we'll put her through a table 9 times instead of making Bobby Lashley. We decided to do that instead. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Well, that's all the time we've got for you here today, ladies and gentlemen, on the Friday Locker Room. You can go ahead and check out my podcast at South Park Pod. Brand new episode dropping later today, the pandemic specials. We're getting into season 24, so it's a 1-hour podcast review of the 1-hour episode. So it's a long one. And I'm running this solo. That's all. The rest of my crew couldn't be there. So tune into that. It'll be out on all podcast outlets. Pierce, what's going on with you?
Not much, man. I'm getting ready to start back up doing some podcasting. My Thursday night show, True Story Thursdays, is going to make its return. I've also got a couple other YouTube channels I'm going to be launching, which I'm going to try and separate some of my content for everybody. But I'm also going to be starting doing a solo stream where I'm going to be reacting to certain videos, giving advice on certain topics, and just give my thoughts on shit that's going on in the world of wrestling, sports, and whatever the fuck is happening, whatever the fuck I want to talk about. So stay tuned to Piers Austin on Twitter and at the Piers Austin on Instagram for all information, or find me at your local bar face down in the toilet next to your mum.
Points. Y'all, yeah, I'm excited for Monday. Hopefully everything works better, a little bit better than the tech difficulties I had this morning, so apologies there, you guys. But Jasmine St. Clair, legendary performer, adult of ECW, of movies. She's and now JC, the queen of JCW, going to be hopefully joining us on Monday Locker Room with Rick and I. So excited to make her acquaintance, man, and get her opinion. I mean, if anybody's seen the carny side of fucking entertainment business, it's definitely going to be her. And yeah,
she's cool as fuck, man. I've spoken with her a couple of times on my podcast, man. Very cool. Yeah, very, very cool and very opinionated, man. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. She reached out, so anything we can do to help JCW and I know this week they were looking for 40,000 views and they got 50,000 views on their show. So since Vince came on, I think they were at 20. So, while other people's numbers continue to decline, even in a smaller pool, will JCW hit 100 grand? I think that's a great goal for 2026. And I think it's very achievable and attainable. And anything we can do to help shine a light on that for them, then we're absolutely going to do it. You never know. Maybe I'll get on the show and then WWE will hire me after they make me champion that week. That'll be that's the fastest way to get to WWE. If you want to go to JCW, get it, become the champ, they'll fucking sign you the next week. It's good for everybody. But what else going on? Ravens joint, man. I'll be there all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So selling the best cannabis. All the new stuff is being processed and coming in from the fall harvest. So it's cool to see all the new strains and new products and just be doing it, man. It was good to hang with you boys this morning. Hopefully this fucking cosmic pressure and all this storm lets up, man, because it's fucking crazy here on Hoth with all this snow, bro. The Empire's attacking all of my nerves and my fucking temporal lobe right now, it feels like, for sure. So yeah, Maddie, what else? Oh yeah, you guys, patreon.com/Hameen Media group is going to be the new place now that Channel Attitude is dead. We appreciate you guys going with us, and I know re-signing up for all that kind of stuff can be a pain in the ass, but best place to get interactive and get specialty shows too that are coming here for HMG that I'm going to be working on, as well as everything else you guys already love from Hameen Media Group on YouTube. And yeah, sign the fuck up, I guess is what it comes to. And 2CW as well, the entire library of 2CW on Patreon as well. I think /2CW Wrestling, only $5. Maybe one or two shows missing that I'm going to help go through my library to get uploaded. But everybody from Brian Daniels, Terry Funk, Luke Harper, and Kevin Steen, list goes on and on and on and on and on of amazing performers doing great stuff. Briscoes, all their run, the Young Bucks, all their run is all going to be on there for $5. So no need to spend your money on Netflix for that same old library when you go to Patreon and get all our stuff, you guys. So YOLO, it's Hacker Hameen, it's MSG, and the truth. Piers Austin Infidels kicking off your ultra classified kayfabe Friday locker room here, Hameen Media Group. YOLO. What are we gonna do?
Oh, will you fucking stop?
I'm trying.